I've got two words for you. Konstantinos Mavropanos. Now, I'm going to talk about him a little bit later. Of course, he is the Greek defender, formerly at Arsenal, who may well be coming to West Ham because Harry Maguire doesn't want to. There's some serious backtracking going on from Harry Maguire, by the way. Oh, the love's coming out for Man United there. It's funny how things change quite so quickly. He wasn't so pleased with him when he did that statement. What was it, 3 weeks ago? But a lot of love there now, clearly. The rift has been healed. There's quite a lot going on today, but nothing firm, if you know what I mean. Let's just get to Lucas Paqueta very, very quickly, because Manchester City are rumoured to be making a second bid for Lucas Paqueta. Now, there's a lot of stories doing the rounds, 110 million and stuff like that. As I understand it, none of that stuff is true. I think you're probably looking at something closer to just over 70 million will be Manchester City's second bid, despite what a lot of people are reporting. And for that reason, as I understand it, I think the club will probably reject that and turn it down. It's worth noting that there's a lot of positivity around the club now, not particularly that Paqueta will stay, although there's no desire to sell him. I think it's probably worth saying that. I think the club will try and hold on to him if they can. And the positivity is around it. Paqueta has said he's not going to kick off about it. He's training really well. He's got a good attitude. He does want to leave, but he's not throwing his toys out the pram and that sort of thing. So I think that's pretty good, and really, really good to hear. I think I'm 50-50 on it, actually. I was about to say my suspicion is that he'll leave. I think he wants to. It's just how readily Manchester City are willing to push the deal forward. As I understand it, Bernardo Silva's close or has just signed a new deal at Man City, and they might be close to signing Doku. I know Gio spoke about him earlier. Really, really good player, very fast player. There was suspicion or suggestions. I keep saying suspicion. I don't know what I'm saying. It's not suspicious at all. There are suggestions that we might have hijacked that deal. So I'm just checking me mic cable. There was some suggestions that West Ham might try and hijack that deal. I don't think we could. Why would we? I think if that gets done, then maybe, just maybe, that Bernardo Silva gets used a little bit more centrally, a little bit more frequently. They've obviously lost Gundogan there, and that's going to be a big position for them. So I'm not sure how much they'll push for Lucas Paqueta. Obviously, very, very different players. There's a lot more physicality to Paqueta than there is to Bernardo Silva. And as I understand it, and it's all like musical chairs, this stuff. So, Ajax, who I'll get to in just a second, they're after somebody called James McAtee, who is from Manchester City. Young player, good player, highly rated. He will join from Manchester City, it all gets very complicated, if West Ham sign Kudus, who we spoke of, Mohammed Kudus, who we spoke about a couple of days ago and briefly yesterday. West Ham still remain in talks for that player from Ajax, but it's also being suggested that we're going to buy him only if we sell Paqueta. So does that make any sense? So, and the way I understand it, if we sell Paqueta, we buy Kudus, and then Ajax buy McAtee from Manchester City. It's like a chain. It's like a housing chain, isn't it? It's all very interesting there. I don't know how much of it is going to happen. Really don't know. But the conflicting reports, really, because I heard we were chasing that Kudus irrespective of whether we signed Paqueta. Whether we sold Paqueta or not. What other stories do we have? Mikel Antonio apparently has turned down that lucrative offer from Saudi Arabia. Now, as I understand it, it was €9 million over 2 years. Those had been his wages. And he's turned it down. And you know what? It actually is, I'm going to say it crazy. This sounds absolutely crazy. And this from a man whose fridge is playing up. And I phoned up the repairman earlier on, and he wanted to charge me 80 quid just to have a look at it. Right? And I thought, wow, that's steep. Right? So I'm not saying for me, €9 million isn't much, but I can sort of understand it from like a footballer's point of view. You can see all these players moving to Saudi Arabia for mega money. £600,000 a week, that sort of thing. And probably Antonio's looking at it thinking, well, that's not really life-changing money for him. And I do mean it. I mean, because if you are already a millionaire, Eddie Irvine said it once. Eddie Irvine, do you remember him? He was a driver for Ferrari. And he used to earn about £6 million a year. And then Williams offered him, I think they offered him £8 million a year. And he did this great interview. And he said, look, that's not going to change my lifestyle. And he was very honest. He said, look, I've already got a yacht. I've already got the apartment in Monaco. I drive a Ferrari around. You know, he said, an extra 2... He said, I've been earning 6 million a year for, you know, quite a while. He said, an extra 2 million a year is going to make no difference to my lifestyle at all. I need $1 billion, basically. And I thought it was a very, very honest interview. And I just wonder if someone like Mikel Antonio thinks, well, you know what? I'm earning 100 grand a week at West Ham as it is. Is it really worth the upheaval and moving family over there and all the rest of it? So I guess I sort of understand it. It does leave him in a bit of a funny situation at West Ham because clearly he does want out. What else have we got? We've got, okay, this is one. I said I'd discuss this chap at the start. Konstantinos Mavropanos. Damn, I thought I was going to nail it as well then. Okay, so he is, let me just get this absolutely right. He used to be at Arsenal. Big fella, 25 years of age, right? Big fella, 6'5", something like that. Was at Arsenal, then went to Nuremberg, went back to Arsenal, went back to Nuremberg, back to Arsenal, went to Stuttgart. These are obviously the loan deals along the way. Back to Arsenal, back to Stuttgart, which is where he stayed. So, yeah, apparently a very, very good player. Can't tell you anything about him, truth be known. But apparently this is the guy we're after, just purely because the Harry Maguire deal's fallen through. And just as I said in a previous video, thank goodness we've realised that that's fallen through as well. Some suggestions, this is a Tim Steidten pick. I guess he ticks both boxes, doesn't he? Sort of young enough, mid-20s, young enough but experienced enough for David Moyes as centre-half from the Bundesliga, but also has experience of being in England. So maybe it's a good one for everybody. There's no doubt Moyes definitely wants another centre-half, though. That much is true. And then we have got... I've got to get this right. I've got to get his name right. Elye Wahi. It's not that hard, is it, really? Montpellier, youngster. Apparently interests Chelsea. Who doesn't interest Chelsea, quite frankly? Chelsea are interested in... They're playing a numbers game, Chelsea. I've got to say, they're like my mate. I'm not going to say his name. You're not going to be watching this. My mate on Tinder. He's just saying yes to everybody. He's playing a numbers game, right? Didn't work out so well, funny enough. But anyway, I think Chelsea are playing a numbers game. Just sign them. He's swiping whatever side you swipe. Right? Left? Whatever. They're swiping right, I think. Anyway, so they want this Montpellier youngster, Elye Wahi. But so do we. He's very good, apparently. Very, very good. He's only 20. Bit young for Moyes' tastes, I think. And anyway, Paris Saint-Germain are interested. Tottenham Hotspur are interested. Eintracht Frankfurt are interested, as are West Ham, of course, and Chelsea, as I mentioned it. Couldn't tell you, not even done a Gonzo on it, not even seen a YouTube clip. Could be good, bad, or indifferent. Could be completely bloody useless for all I know. I'm sure he's not if all those clubs are chasing him. I don't know. It's hard to tell what's journalist talk and what's not. What I am not certain, what I am more sure about are the stories at the start of this video, which were, of course, that a second bid is coming in from Manchester City and it's not going to be as big as we think. I'm certainly very sure that Lucas Paqueta's not kicking off and he's showing a good attitude. And I do think we're definitely, there's some interest from the club in Mohammed Kudus. So those are the things that I sort of take from it, really. No updates yet on Aaron Cresswell. Maybe, just maybe, Mikel Antonio's turning down that Saudi move because he does want to move to Wolverhampton. There you go. Why not? Why not? Maybe Gary O'Neill's had a word with him and they're going to build the team around him. I don't know. But I really wish, and I said this, I want West Ham to be signing a striker, at least that Elye Wahi, if he is a striker, as I haven't had a look at him, at least that's something, going down that route of trying to recruit a centre-forward striker, whatever you want to call it. It's all very interesting at the moment. I'm not sure I'm believing this Doku rumour, though. I think would be very unlikely. He's going to go to Man City, isn't he? I mean, let's be fair. Why wouldn't you? So there you go. There is your transfer roundup for today. Nothing much happening. Lots of gossip, but I wouldn't be surprised if some big news in terms of that bid from Manchester City lands later on today. There's just no way, unless Man City offer around the 80 million plus mark, West Ham are just not going to accept it. They're not going to accept 70 million. They're really not. It's not actually that big a profit on the player if they do that. So, yeah, going to watch this space. Going to get very, very interesting.